What happens when a star player talks big during the game but disappears when it's time to face the media? Alyssa Thomas just found out the hard way, and the WNBA isn't messing around. The night was set to be Alyssa Thomas's moment.
And it looked like Alyssa Thomas will be getting fined for doing this in Indianapolis. Guys, for this one here.
A chance to silence critics and lead the Phoenix Mercury to a big statement win against the Indiana Fever. And on the court, she delivered. Thomas was a force, pouring in 32 points, snagging 15 rebounds.
So Alyssa Thomas had all the smoke for the Fever fans. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, it wasn't just like just normal smoke. It wasn't just normal beef. It was what people from the country will call Dublin. She had the big smoke. Like, she absolutely had all the beef for. She, let the fans hear it, all of this stuff. Satu there, telling the fans to keep up the booze. And what did they do? They lost.
And dishing out 7 assists, shooting an impressive 63.6% from the field. It was a dominant, headline-grabbing performance that demanded respect. But the final score told a different story. The Mercury suffered a staggering 171-101 loss.
Understand how a player in a professional sport can ever think that someone who left a team and left the team in a lurch, like DeWanna Bonner left the Indiana Fever in a time of adversity when multiple players were injured. They had to sign hardship contracts, and instead of saying, hey, this isn't working out, after 9 games, mind you, did not give it much time. 9 games was it. That's all she played with the Indiana Fever. Asking for a trade and not traveling with your team after asking for something to be worked out. And then, not only that, pretty much forcing your way onto the Phoenix Mercury, which is a title contending team and a team with her life partner on it. It just sounds very like I can get what I want when I want, and it doesn't matter what happens. And yes, I can see a fan base being quite upset with this. I mean, LeBron, when he left Cleveland, people were burning his jerseys. People were booing him every time he was back in Cleveland.
One so lopsided that no individual heroics could mask the defeat. Yet the game wasn't the only thing making headlines. What followed after the final buzzer ignited a firestorm far bigger than the scoreboard.
Honestly, I'm just playing. I just play basketball. I'm just trying to get a win. I'm super competitive, and it's an opportunity in front of me, and I'm going to go after it.
Throughout the game, Thomas wasn't just playing basketball. She was locked in a war of words with Fever fans. The atmosphere at Gainbridge Fieldhouse crackled with tension as Thomas vocally traded jabs with the crowd. The boos and taunts from Fever fans weren't going unanswered. Thomas fired back, turning up the heat and crossing lines that some might call unprofessional. But then, the irony hit hard.
Something that not that she caused, not that necessarily DeWanna caused for herself. Like, the booing and everything, DeWanna brought that in herself. Let's be completely real. Even Nate Tibbetts was just like, well, yeah, this is sports. Like, we'll talk about that a little bit later, but like, their coach was even like, well, yeah, this is sports. This is sports. And like, Alyssa Thomas not showing up. It's the most Alyssa Thomas thing ever, isn't it? Talk a big game, and then when anyone does anything negative towards you, let's just dodge. It is the most Alyssa Thomas thing ever. Like, we've seen it with
the same player who boldly confronted fans and embraced the verbal battle vanished when it came time for post-game media duties. Alyssa Thomas skipped the mandatory interviews required by the WNBA's 2025 media policy, leaving her coach and teammates to handle the fallout alone. This was more than a missed obligation. It was a glaring breach of professionalism and league rules.
All right, first of all, if you know or follow sports in like the slightest, you don't even have to be a fanatic to understand boos come with the territory. I have never seen a season without boos. Every time I go to a New York Liberty game and the Indiana Fever play, Sophie Cunningham just steps on the court or gets announced or anything, it's met with boos from the crowd. for whatever reason, and I'm not saying I agree with it, but it's never something that I thought to write about. It's never something that I thought to post to social media. It's not something that I ever thought to make a video about because I know fans.
Thomas's absence sparked alarm bells. Here was the Mercury's leading scorer, the player who carried her team in one of their darkest losses, choosing silence over accountability. It revealed a jarring disconnect between fiery passion on the court and cold avoidance off it, opening a chasm between player responsibility and fan expectations. To fully grasp why Thomas's post-game no-show sparked such controversy, we have to look deeper than just the game and the media snub. This moment was fueled by personal and professional tensions that made the night uniquely combustible. Central to the drama is Dana Bonner, Thomas's fiancée and a former Indiana Fever player. Bonner's return to Indianapolis was far from warm. After just 9 games, she requested a trade and left the Fever during a season riddled with injuries.
It's looking like Alyssa Thomas and the Phoenix Mercury are going to be fined because she just said nah. She just said nah. And I'm sorry, like, you can't have all the smoke. You cannot be there chirping with fans the whole game. You cannot be allegedly telling fans DeWanna chose to join a real basketball team. You cannot be saying stuff like that and then hide.
Fever fans, feeling betrayed, voiced their frustration loudly with boos and jeers. Thomas, protective and invested in Bonner's reputation, responded fiercely, engaging Fever fans in heated verbal exchanges throughout the game. This wasn't ordinary game-time trash talk. These confrontations were personal, charged with raw emotion, and they stoked the fire Yet, here's the double-edged sword. By escalating tensions with the crowd, Thomas lit a fuse she later refused to confront. Her disappearance from the media spotlight post-game spoke volumes. It was a refusal to face the consequences of her own provocations.
Hey, I have a question for Alyssa. As the second half of the season resumes and the ongoing CBA negotiations are at the forefront, what is the most important issue to you and what would you consider your non-negotiables?
I mean, there's a lot of non-negotiables. Right now we have a lot of leverage.
This isn't just about skipping interviews. It's a collision of emotion, professionalism, and the high standards athletes must uphold. The WNBA's media rules aren't arbitrary. They're essential to maintaining transparency, fairness, and respect between players, the media, and fans. By breaking these rules, Thomas didn't just let down reporters or fans, she challenged the very standards the league has fought to enforce. The league is reportedly preparing fines for both Thomas and the Mercury organization. The message is clear. Passion and personality don't grant players immunity from accountability. The fan reaction was immediate and unrelenting. Across social media and fan forums,
foul on Sophie Cunningham. That is the first team second. Coming in for Phoenix number 14,
many condemned Thomas's hypocrisy. Taking verbal shots during the game but avoiding questions afterward felt like immature, unprofessional behavior. The WNBA's fan base is fiercely passionate and growing quickly, demanding respect and integrity from its stars. Skipping mandatory media sessions isn't just a breach of protocol, it feels like a disrespect to the game's supporters. Thomas isn't new to controversy. Known for her candid and sometimes provocative comments about opponents and fans, she has built a reputation as a tough competitor. But this moment stood out because it paired an incredible on-court performance with off-court drama and broken league rules. Her stats that night, 32 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists, were spectacular, yet they couldn't shield her from criticism. In fact, her dominance only magnified the disappointment because she had every reason to embrace the spotlight responsibly. The Mercury's organization also took heat for failing to manage the situation. Letting their star players skip media duties unchecked raised questions about team culture, player support, and adherence to league policies. This incident also exposed a tricky double standard the WNBA still battles. Star players sometimes receive more leniency, while others face stricter consequences. Fans pointed out that if a high-profile player like Caitlin Clark had done the same, the league's response would likely have been swift and severe. At a broader level, this moment signals a critical challenge for the WNBA. The league is growing rapidly, gaining national attention and building a devoted fan base. With that growth comes increased pressure to uphold professionalism and accountability. The media access policy isn't just about journalists, it's about fostering transparency, respect, and consistent standards that underpin the league's credibility. When a star player openly defies these rules, it threatens that credibility.
This isn't just a fine or a reprimand, it's about setting a precedent. If players believe they can skip media duties because of personal conflicts or emotional reactions, the league risks losing control of the standards it's worked hard to establish. Young athletes watch these stars closely, looking for role models. The message must be clear: professionalism is non-negotiable. The incident also underscores the complex interplay between athlete emotions and public expectations. Thomas was visibly affected by the presence of Bonner and the charged atmosphere of her fiancé's controversial return. Emotions ran high, but that doesn't excuse shirking professional responsibilities. In other major sports leagues, NBA, NFL, MLB, skipping mandatory media sessions leads to fines and sometimes suspensions, no exceptions. The WNBA must apply these standards consistently if it wants to be seen as an equal on the professional sports stage. The Mercury are a team with championship aspirations, and distractions like this threaten focus and chemistry. Handling adversity is part of any contender's journey, and leaders are expected to model accountability. Thomas walking away from the media adds an unnecessary complication. This incident should serve as a wake-up call, not just for Thomas, but for the league and all its players. Accountability isn't just about protecting the league's brand. It empowers players and earns respect from fans, media, and peers. The fallout was swift. Fans and analysts condemned the hypocrisy and unprofessionalism. In today's digital world, such moments don't fade quickly. They stick, shaping narratives and reputations. The impending fine from the WNBA isn't merely financial. It's a clear message: no one is above the rules. For Thomas, it's a reminder that talent and status don't grant immunity from responsibility. Her spectacular stats deserved celebration, but her choice to avoid accountability overshadowed that achievement. The Mercury face their own challenge. Managing this distraction and helping Thomas navigate the fallout will be crucial for team morale and playoff focus. Looking forward, this incident could redefine Thomas's relationship with the media and fans. Trust and respect must be earned, and moments like this complicate that process. Yet there's room for redemption. How Thomas responds, showing growth, embracing responsibility, and leading by example, could turn the narrative around. For the WNBA, enforcing rules consistently will be key to reinforcing professionalism and growing the league's stature. In the end, this is a powerful lesson. In professional sports, talent alone isn't enough. Character, accountability, and respect for the game and its stakeholders are just as vital. Alyssa Thomas's story reminds all athletes that you can't throw verbal smoke on the court and disappear when the spotlight turns to you. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like, share, and subscribe to Her Hoops for daily basketball insights. See you next time.